A very unique Microsoft 365 app is Power BI, which stands for Business Intelligence. And Power BI allows us to pull in information from various different data sources, and then we can display that information and make it interactive. It's much different than a presentation with PowerPoint where you enter all the data manually. Let's take a look at the Power BI layers. The first is going to be the source. Sources can be from Excel, from SQL, from any other type of database that's supported, such as Oracle, where you can pull that information in and make it an interactive presentation. Then you have query. You've got to query that data so you can decide which data you want to display and make interactive. Then we have modeling. Modeling involves organizing and structuring data by defining tables, and then you create relationships between those tables so then you can get the type of display that makes the most sense for you. After that comes the data analysis expressions, and I'll be creating a couple of those for you here shortly. This is the formula language that's used in Power BI and other BI tools to make these calculations, measures, and columns for your data models. Visualization is next. This is where you take all the other layers and you bring them together to make your presentation. And then you've got to share your presentation. You can share it in an email. You can share it as a web page. You can share it in a Teams chat. Lots of different ways to share your Power BI presentation. I've downloaded a financial sample from Microsoft, and you can just type in Power BI financial sample and you'll find this Excel spreadsheet if you would like. Otherwise, you can create your own data for your test. The other thing we need to do is we need to download the Power BI desktop app. Now there is a web version, but it is slower and it doesn't have all the same features, but it's pretty close. And in this particular case, I want to show you all the different features, and I'm going to use the desktop version. Now, after you've downloaded and installed it, it will show up in your Start menu, or you can just click Open from that one location. And I'll go ahead and open up Power BI Desktop. If you log in with Power BI Desktop, then you can synchronize any saved presentations from your local computer onto the web, and then you can open them on another computer or open up the web version on another type of device, such as a tablet or a phone. Here you can see multiple different locations where we can get our data, or you could also click Get Data from Other Sources. And you're going to see there's lots of different sources that you can choose to pull into Power BI. And take a look at all the different locations. There are dozens of them. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose the Excel workbook that's on my desktop and choose to connect. And it'll prompt me for that location. I'll choose that financial sample on the desktop, and now it's connecting to that Excel file. Once it connects, you have a couple of different options. If you have multiple different sheets, you could choose the individual sheets, but it's a good idea to choose the financials at the top so it will include everything that's in your Excel workbook. Now I could choose to just load the data, but then I won't be able to manipulate it, and I want to be able to do that. So I'm going to choose Transform instead. By transforming the data, I can go in and make changes to the columns or to any of the data that's in my spreadsheet. Now it won't change the original spreadsheet, it will just change the imported data into Power BI. I'm going to go to where it says Units Sold and go to the Transform tab, and I'm going to change the type of cell that we're going to be working with to a whole number. So you can see right now the very first row, it's got 1618.5. I don't want it to show the 0.5. Let's just go ahead and choose that and choose Replace Current. And now it's just whole numbers that are showing. And you can certainly change that to any one of those options you'd like. Next, I'm going to go to where it says Segment, and I'll highlight Segment and make sure that you're in the Transform tab. And then I'm going to go to where it says Format, and I can choose lowercase, uppercase, etc. I want to make these all uppercase. And now they're uppercase. Next, I want to change the month name. So I'm going to double click on it, and it allows me to edit it. So I'll just go ahead and delete the word name, press Enter, and now it's just the month. I'm going to scroll back to the left and I'm going to click on product. Now, if I hit the drop down, it gives me the option to make changes to uncheck any of these products. And I'm going to say, you know what? The Montana product is now gone. So I'm going to click OK to remove it from my list of products. Now I'm going to go to the Home tab because I'm all done making changes here and choose Close and Apply. Make sure that you click the Apply Changes if prompted. And take a look at the right-hand side. If I expand, you can see all that information. My problem is I don't want to just show my profit and other information by year. I want to show it by month, maybe by day, maybe by quarter. So I need to create some additional expressions, those DAX expressions I was talking about earlier. So to start with, I'm going to click on a new measure. And in that new measure, I'm going to paste in the total units sold. And I'm going to click the check mark to commit. And take a look on the right-hand side. We can now see the total units sold. Now I'm going to create a new table. So I'll go back to the Home tab for a second and click on the table view. And back in the Home tab, I can now see the new table option. My next DAX is going to be for this calendar that's going to pull up information from 2013 to 2014. So once again, go ahead and commit to that. And now you can see each individual day and time, things like that, for all those days in those 2 years. I'm going to go over to Model on the left-hand side. And I'm going to take the date that you see here on my original spreadsheet and drag it over to the date on the calendar. So that will link them together. I don't need to make any changes, just click Save. And then you'll see the relationship between the two of them. And what's going to happen is we're going to see two tables on the right-hand side instead of just one. I'll drag this over just so you can see that link. And now that's done. Now we've officially transformed our data. I'm going to go over to the report view once again. And on the right-hand side, you can now see the calendar table that has dates in it, year, quarter, month, day, and you can see the financials. Let's display our data. On the right-hand side, I'm going to choose profit. And when I select that, it's going to automatically add the profit table to this large area that we're going to be using for our presentation. That's not a very exciting looking profit table though, but I can use the second table that I created and add it in by month. Now we see it broken down in month for that 2013 year. But since this is interactive, I could change it. I can go to quarter. And now I see all 4 quarters. Let's do another one. Let's do gross sales. I'm going to drag gross sales out so it sits next to the profit by quarter. And then once again, I'm going to click the quarter box. And now we can compare the sales to the profit. But let's say I'd rather show it by the month. And there's each month. Now let's say I want to see that in a different look. There's a bar chart. Doesn't give us quite as good information, but the pie chart is awesome. Now I can publish that data, share that data, whatever it is I'd like to do in order to present the data to the people that need to see it. And I'll call it Financials and click Save. Now I can open the financials in Power BI. And it opens up my web page, which I can now share with anyone else in the group. Power BI is a powerful way to display data for presentations and other media needs.